welcome to Hormone Breakthrough Wednesday. Oh, let's drive for a moment.
I am ready to receive all the love that's given me, 'cause I know that I am worthy, yes, and more please. I am ready to release all the fear, anxiety, and I trust that I am held in the light by divinity. So done with playing small, knowing I am made of stars, and that I am the love that I'm looking for, knowing that my heart is my home.
Ah, that's such a favorite song. It's so beautiful. Oh, we're made of stars. Awesome. Welcome to Hormone Breakthrough Wednesday here in the Natural Solutions for Hormone Balance Sisterhood. Hey, this is Robin Nielsen, and I am so honored to be with you today. So we have a great topic. You voted. Okay, we did a poll, and the number one winner, the top winner, was gut health and healing. And I'm so proud of you because that's a topic that is not sexy. It's not sexy at all. And you chose it as the number one topic. And I'm so proud of you because we have to heal our gut if we want to balance our hormones. Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought, right? That hormone balance starts in the gut. Yeah, so let's just breathe into that a minute, right? Hormone balance begins in the gut, in our digestive tract. So you ladies are rock stars figuring this out, just rock stars. So we have some great questions. I'm actually going to try to get through all of them today. I'll do my best. We're going to go for about 30 minutes or so. And then I'm going to tell you about the beautiful hormone reset that's coming up, the 15-day hormone reset. You can sign up. And we're going to be posting the bring a friend information, because I know many of you have done the reset already and want to do it again and bring some girlfriends, and we'd love to have you. So this is the time to get in because it's about 50% off. So this is kind of our pre-launch price, and it starts on May 10th. May 10th. So we'll be posting the link for you to register in just a little bit. We can also post it now, so that would be fine too. And I want to make sure that you get in now because the price goes up every single week. And we always get questions, why did the price go up? Because we want to encourage you to sign up now. Say yes to yourself now. Don't wait, because the price will go up. So we're rewarding you for taking action, because as we take action on behalf of ourselves, so we say yes to ourselves, our cells actually change the way they express themselves. Our DNA, rather, changes the way it expresses itself for the better as we say yes to taking care of ourselves. So I'm going to encourage you to change the way your DNA, your genetic code, is expressing itself by signing up for the 15-day hormone reset now. And if you've already done the 15-day hormone reset, then you're in. You don't have to do anything but go there to the Facebook page and post your top 3 health goals for this reset. That's all you have to do. Hop on over there and post your top 3 goals if you've already done it, because you're already in. So excited for you. All right. This is going to be a fantastic journey. Starts May 10th. So I'll tell you more about it in a little bit. So today is about gut health and healing. We have some great questions. We're going to get to them. So the digestive tract is really amazing. And there's actually a module in the 15-day hormone reset that goes over digestion in more detail. And I think some of the ladies who posted their questions actually have done the hormone reset. So you have that information, and we're going to just dig a little bit deeper here today. All right. I just want to acknowledge all the ladies who posted a question. I'm going to give you a big shout out here. So Barbara Bradley Kirk, kisses for you, dear. Mwah. Amanda Gibson, kiss for you. Mwah. Myra Alejandra Solorzano, Solorzano, mwah, kiss for you. Nicole, kiss for you. Let's see. Kimberly Kisner Taylor, kiss for you. Alana Reese, kiss for you. Laura Arendt, kiss for you. And Binny Chopra, kiss for you. All right, all these ladies posted questions. Way to go. All right, so we're going to start with Barbara. She said, what testing companies do you recommend for food sensitivity? So I like a few of them. And it's hard because it really depends. It depends on, what you're trying to figure out. And it also depends on, kind of what you're willing to do. So I think one of my favorites is the ALCAT. And that's an interesting test because they actually put your blood in all these different vials, and then they introduce the protein. So it's the protein in the foods that actually cause a food sensitivity. Okay, so food sensitivities and food allergies are different. So this is kind of a big conversation, but just in a nutshell, we experience what are called IgG immune responses or IgE immune responses, and IgE immune responses are immediate. So you're really clear that you're having a reaction. So for instance, your face swells up, or your tongue swells up and you can't swallow anymore, or your throat swells up, or you break out in a rash, right? Like that's an immediate IgE response. So you're really clear. It's like, yeah, I can't eat that food. The IgG response foods, though, that's a delayed immune response, are trickier because you may just feel a little bit tired all the time, or you might have, your skin might be broken out constantly, or you might feel anxious. You might feel anxious. That can be a food intolerance symptom. Anxiety, for sure. So there are all sorts of like underlying issues that delayed sensitivities can cause, a delayed immune response can cause, and they just kind of keep you down, right? They kind of keep your body stressed at a lower level, but it causes all of these imbalances throughout your body. So those are the ones that you want to test for, and that's what Barbara is asking about. And so I like the ALCAT because the ALCAT tests for I think it tests for IgG. I want to say IgG. I think it tests for that, but it also tests for I'm sorry, I know it tests for IgG. It may test for IgE. I don't remember. I think it tests for IgA, and it may test for IgM. So it tests a number of different immune responses, because what it's looking for is any reaction. It's looking for any reaction. So it looks for any changes in your cells, to the food, the protein in the food that's been introduced, basically. And I do suggest that you work with a practitioner to figure that out. So work with someone who can order the testing for you. And I like the ALCAT. I think that's a good test. I tend to just want to focus on the IgG response. So I do another test through Meridian Valley Labs that I really like. You can get a simple test. You can order it yourself through Everlywell. Everlywell tests for a few foods. They might have a bigger test, actually. They might test for a lot of foods. And it would be a blood spot test where you prick your own finger and fill in some circles. The ALCAT, you actually have to get a blood draw, so it's more complicated. It's a lot pricier. So it might be harder for a lot of you to do. But Everlywell, I think, would be a great choice to start with. Yeah, because that's a do-it-yourself. Yeah, so I think that's a great choice. All right, Barbara, kisses for you, sister. Mwah. Amanda, what's the best way to gauge our progress in healing our gut? Oh my gosh, that is like a great question, Amanda. It's a great question. So the best way to gauge your progress is to notice how your digestion is working. And the best way to do that is to check out your poop, right? Check out your stool. Is your stool dark in color? Is it well formed? Are there no chunks of food in your stool, right? It needs to be all digested. Is it pointy at one end? Does it come out in one piece? Does it sink or does it float? So you want it to sink, right? So your stool is the best way to tell. And in Chinese medicine, I think that what I've learned is that they actually ask you how your stool is today. That is a sign of overall health. So if your stool is good, you're doing good, right? If your stool is hard, right, little like rabbit pellets, a problem, right? If it's runny, that's a problem. You want it soft but not loose. What are some other ways that you can tell with your stool? So it needs to be dark in color because that says that you're getting rid of the metabolized toxins, the things that need to get out. And also, are you experiencing bloating, gas, discomfort when you eat? If you're not, that's a really good sign. So I think those are the best ways to tell if your gut is healing. Yeah, I think that's really a key way. You can also do testing, right? You can do a comprehensive stool test. One of my favorites is the GI map. That's what I use in my private program, is the GI map test. I really like that test because it actually looks at the DNA of all the different microbes in your digestive tract. And it also is able to track digestive enzymes, your gut immune system called your SIG-A or secretory IgA. It also checks for inflammation. It checks for blood in your stool. It checks for fat digestion. It checks for digestive enzymes, so your elastase. And then it looks for, any infections. So any candida or so any fungal infections in general. It looks for any opportunistic bacteria. It looks for parasites, worms, overgrowth of bacteria, H. pylori, things like that. So you can also test, but you do have to work with a practitioner to do that. But the best way is just to check your stool, right? To go through and make sure that that it's well formed, dark in color, somewhat soft, easy to come out, pointed at one end, sinks, and is not green, right? Not green, dark in color, no chunks in your food. Okay, you've got this. Awesome. All right, so big kisses for Amanda. Mwah. All right, let's see who else. Good question. So Myra asks, how do we address malabsorption? How do we address malabsorption besides taking digestive enzymes, particularly to increase fat-soluble vitamin absorption? Okay, so this is a really big question. And my question back to you, Myra, would be, why are you asking the question? Like, what are you noticing around that? So I'd love to know more, but poor absorption is usually poor nutrient absorption has a lot to do with many things, right? It has to do with the integrity of your gut lining. So gut lining integrity is very important. So you want to go back to the previous question, which is looking at your stool, making sure that your stool is right. So that's where I would start with that. And if it's not right, then you have some healing to do, right? You've got to seal up your gut. So you've got to, get rid of things like wheat and dairy that could cause problems. For sure, wheat and anything, containing gluten is a problem because gluten opens up the tight junctions in your mucosal lining to allow for larger than normal food particles to get through, which can then cause an autoimmune response, right? So we know that, conditions like Hashimoto's, autoimmune thyroid disease, is due to a leaky gut, which is what you're talking about here, Myra. So to improve absorption, and I'm curious why you don't want to take digestive enzymes. I'm curious about that. So I'd love to know more. So, so digestive enzymes they're not responsible for absorption, but they are responsible for breaking your food down. So there are a number of ways, zinc is an incredible nutrient for helping with gut health in general. but helping to promote better stomach acid. And you need to just have, good elastase. And if you don't, then you do need to take digestive enzymes. You could also take bitters. Bitters are fantastic. Digestive bitters are great for helping with digestion. Yeah, and fiber is really important for good absorption. You want to have a good microbiome. You need to have good liver function, right? So there are a lot of things. So you want to look at make sure your stomach acid is strong enough. You want to make sure that you have enough digestive enzymes. You want to make sure that there's no inflammation in the gut. You want to make sure you have some good probiotics so that you're, constantly recolonizing or, eating some good fermented foods. You want to make sure that your liver is supported well so that you're metabolizing everything properly and getting those toxins out. You want to make sure you have good fiber, both prebiotic and probiotic fiber. Well, sorry, prebiotic is fiber, right? The prebiotic fiber actually helps to feed beneficial bacteria, improving your microbiome. You want to have a good estrobolome, which is that microbiome in your gut that actually is responsible for estrogen metabolism. So there are a lot of things that help with nutrient absorption. It's a kind of a big picture, right? But just making sure that there's no inflammation in your gut. It takes fat. You have to eat fat to actually absorb your fat soluble vitamins. So, always eat a healthy protein, fat, and carb when you eat. And the 15-day hormone reset goes over all of that. So make sure you join the 15-day hormone reset if you haven't done it already. And yeah, I think just, checking your stool every day and seeing how you're doing is a perfect start. So you've totally got this, Myra. You are absorbing all of your nutrients perfectly. And so it is. All right. Sending you so much love. All right. Next question. Nicole, how to reduce gut inflammation. So Nicole is amazing. She could answer this question. I totally know. But it just kind of depends what you have going on, Nicole. So I just want to start there. And a lot of inflammation in the gut has to do with what we choose to eat. And sometimes we can tolerate more variety than others. So if our adrenals are in good shape, then we can tolerate more foods often. So adrenal health plays a big role in digestive health, adrenal and thyroid health. So, reducing inflammation in the gut, there are a lot of great herbs that will do that, and just, choosing to eat cleaner for a bit. And exactly what to do that. So we just have to eat cleaner. And again, on the GI map test, you can test for inflammation. There's actually a marker called calprotectin that is an inflammatory marker in your gut that is really good to know where your calprotectin is, but you do have to do a stool test to figure that out. And it has to be through a functional practitioner. Your doctor, traditional doc, can't test for it. So yeah, eating cleaner, eliminating those more pro-inflammatory foods. I bet you can name one. So if you're listening now or live, I'd love for you to name an inflammatory food. Yeah, anything with sugar in it, right? Sugar is very inflammatory. Yeah, sugar is very inflammatory. Grains could be inflammatory for you if your body doesn't handle them well. Anything that your body has a reaction to is inflammatory. So what are those foods for you? All right, figure them out and you've totally got this. All right, Nicole, sending you so much love. All right. Let's see, Kimberly asks, when is a good time to introduce raw greens instead of cooking them for the smoothies? So you'll always want to cook greens before you eat them so that you take out some of the problem compounds in them, except for things like lettuce. Like lettuce, you don't have to cook, but collards, kale, spinach, things like that, you always want to cook them before you eat them. But parsley, you don't need to, baby greens, sprouts, things like that, you don't have to cook those. And it really depends on your digestion, so cooked foods are better for someone who is tired and someone who's not digesting well. But if you have good energy and you're your stools are good, then you can add in more raw veggies. Absolutely, right? Yeah, so I think that that's perfect. And when to add fermented foods? Right now, I think fermented foods are great. The downside of fermented foods is that they do contain a compound called tyramine, and tyramine can keep us up at night. It's not a bad thing, unless you can't sleep. So chocolate, some of our favorite things, right? Anything smoked, anything cured, has tyramine. Wine has tyramine. Fermented foods have tyramine. So eat them earlier in the day. Maybe for lunch would be great to have some fermented veggies. So good for your gut. So good. But they have to be live, right? Live fermented veggies. So if you buy sauerkraut on the shelf, it's not going to be fermented, right? Because it's not refrigerated. The bacteria in it are dead, right? So they don't do us any good. But if you purchase live sauerkraut that's refrigerated, kimchi is fantastic. Miso, which is a soy product that is fermented, is great. Even tamari, wheat-free tamari is a fermented product that you can use to marinate and season. Don't eat soy a lot, but once a week, once or twice a week is fine. Yeah, I think that's great. And you can easily make your own fermented veggies. So easy. So yeah, great question. I really encourage you to start adding those to your plate. So good. All right, kisses for Barbara. Oh, sorry. No, kisses for Kimberly. Yeah. Mwah. All right. Oh, and sorry, Kimberly, you also asked what are the best ways to increase glycogen? So glycogen is really built from sugar, basically, from breakdown of carbohydrates. So that's why a low carbohydrate diet, keto diet for any length of time really depletes your glycogen stores, which can make it hard to sleep at night. So yeah, making sure that you have enough carbohydrates in your diet is really important. Yeah, good question. Because we got to get good sleep. All right, so let's see here. Okay, Alana asks, what are the steps to healing your gut? I just got my blood work back and my TPO is high. I need to work on healing my gut. Yes. So TPO stands for thyroid peroxidase, and that means that you have Hashimoto's or autoimmune thyroid, and you always want to heal your gut when you have any autoimmune condition, because all disease starts in the gut. And she says, but I don't really know where to start with that or what the process looks like. So I'm just going to give you sort of an overview, Alana, of what it takes to heal your gut. So the steps are, it's the 4 R's, right? Remove, replace, reinoculate, and repair. So when you remove, you're getting rid of, in this case, you would be getting rid of foods that don't serve you, right? So foods that don't serve you, and potentially, if you're working with a practitioner, you would be removing the bad guys, right? And so the second phase is really all about replacing. So replacing enzymes if you're not digesting your food well, replacing maybe some support for stomach acid. Maybe you need some very specific digestive enzymes, based on kind of your biochemical uniqueness. So maybe you need, more support around carbohydrate breakdown or protein breakdown, or maybe you need, stronger stomach acid. So those are things that you can figure out working with a practitioner. And then you want to repopulate. And so repopulate is really when you put a lot of good beneficial bacteria in. And there are a lot of different, strains of bacteria. So you want to make sure that, if you're getting a probiotic, that you don't always do the same probiotic, but that you rotate around, because Our microbiome is made up of many, 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 many different types of bacteria. So we want to make sure that we're recolonizing in a really vibrant way. And so, just eating food, right? Eating good vegetables, diversifying your diet helps you to repopulate because you're feeding different bacteria with the food that you eat. So that's why, when we only eat certain foods, because how many of us, only buy those same 10 vegetables at the grocery store, right? I mean, there are times when I could say yes to that. So we really have to branch out because what you eat feeds specific bacteria. So you always want to diversify your diet. Isn't that cool? Really cool. And you can, add in some probiotics to help with that. And then the last phase is repair, and using things like, to decrease inflammation, for instance, things like marshmallow root, slippery elm. Slippery elm is great. Milk thistle is great for, supporting liver function, decreasing inflammation. You could use, L-glutamine is wonderful. So, I would just start there with the 4 R's: remove, replace, reinoculate, and repair. Yeah, it's a great start. Okay, so big kisses for Alana. Laura says, what's the best prebiotic and probiotic to take? Also, what's the best test to test for gut issues? So I've already talked about that. The GI map is the one that I like the best for addressing kind of gut issues, figuring out what's going on, because you get that from top to bottom. It's really great. As far as, the right prebiotic and probiotic, the right prebiotic is just eating some really good vegetables, right? That's a great prebiotic. Fiber of all kinds are great prebiotics. A prebiotic is actually, just a second. A prebiotic are actually compounds that are non-digestible foods, right? That are parts of plants, basically. So fiber, undigestible fiber, right, is a prebiotic. Prebiotics and something called Saccharomyces boulardii is also a good prebiotic. It's actually a type of yeast, but it's a yeast that is really essential for supporting good beneficial bacteria. So yeah, good vegetables, getting your good vegetables in, wonderful prebiotics. Wonderful prebiotics. Okay, great. Big kisses for Laura. Mwah. And the last one is from Binny. And Binny says, I have a very bad case of diarrhea. Okay. Diarrhea-like symptoms for every meal I eat. I can't keep any food down in my stomach, and I'm always bloated, tired, and need to sleep. So yeah. So this is complicated. So her question is it leaky gut, IBS, hormones? I'm very stressed out, underwent a very traumatic experience. Yeah, so that's kind of what it sounds like, Binny. It's very complicated. So digestion is a really good place to start, but you also have to address stress, because if you're stressed out, you're not going to digest well. Okay, so I want you to take that in for a minute. Yeah, if you're stressed out, you cannot digest well. That's because our blood flow goes from the internal organs, right? Our digestive tract, our liver, right? The blood flow is moved from digestion to our extremities, right? To our legs, to our feet, to our hands, arms, so we can run from the tiger. So you're in the sympathetic nervous system instead of the parasympathetic, and digestion happens in the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest nervous system. So if you're stressed out, you cannot have good digestion. So you have to get good sleep to have good digestion. You need to eat for hormone balance. I really suggest a 15-day hormone reset for you. I think it will help you so much to get your body back into balance. Digestion is complicated. It's really complicated. And I think the biggest thing I can say around digestion is is it's a really, there's a holistic approach to it. You know, you have to get good sleep, you have to eat for hormone balance, you have to make sure your adrenals are functioning well, your liver, your pancreas. There's so many things that play a role in digestion. Your thyroid, right? Your sleep, all of that. So much is involved. So I love the topic of gut health and healing because it truly is so important for us to feel well. And I think if you just, start with the food you eat, it'll make all the difference, right? And chewing your food really well. Chewing your food really well because digestion starts in the mouth. Okay, digestion starts in the mouth. So if you chew your food really well and you eat mindfully, right, in a place of rest and digest, your digestion is going to improve so much just with those simple tips. All right, so I want to know if you've watched this video. I read every single comment. So please say hello and I'll go and check out who all was here and love up on at least 3 other women. Let's keep the 15-day hormone reset magic going. Share the love, support each other. And yes, sign up for the 15-day hormone reset while it is the cheapest it's ever going to be. It's still a really super inexpensive program. So no matter when you join in, it's a great deal. But I encourage you to sign up now so that you say yes to yourself and start digesting better, right? Say yes to yourself. All right, ladies, it's just been absolutely wonderful being here with you today. It's always such a joy. We're going to be here every single week until the reset starts. I have some really amazing guests coming on. We have so much fun coming up. So I can't wait to share with you. So I look forward to seeing you here every single Wednesday now until May 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, sending you so much love. Bye for now.